We got some interesting numbers on the cloud gaming industry. We got a huge update coming to Halo, but not the Halo you may be thinking of. There's a bunch of hiring going on for some Xbox games, and Sony has invested more money into Epic Games. So going forward into the next years of gaming, the next generation, cloud gaming is going to play an even bigger role than it does right now. It's already pretty massive, and I think Xbox has set themselves up the best to capitalize on cloud gaming. They have the best infrastructure with Game Pass and everything, with the amount of content that's already available there, being able to play it right through your phone. That's going to attract a lot of people over to Xbox cloud gaming. And we got some numbers here looking into the industry, and it is a massive industry. So this report comes via Newzoo, and they had their global cloud gaming report, just kind of giving us an update on the overall revenues and users and all that type of stuff of where the cloud gaming industry is currently sitting at. And in the last year, revenues hit nearly $1.5 billion, and this was generated by 21.7 million paying users across cloud gaming services. And you know, the cloud gaming services, they're wide, they're vast, there's a bunch of them. They actually show off this report here of the different solutions when it comes to subscription services and cloud gaming, and you can see they've broken it up to cloud gaming platforms as well as content services, and then the ones in between that have both. And obviously with Xbox cloud gaming, the main thing that they are focusing on is having the option of both being able to download games, but also being able to access all the games through the cloud. You can see it right here. And then there's so many you may not think of, so many that you may have never heard of or have never used. But if you go over to this picture, you get kind of a glimpse of everything that is out there. Now, this whole situation is going to continue to evolve and change, even with the upcoming PlayStation Plus service that we're going to be getting this year. That's going to change, I think, the entire thing that PlayStation has without PlayStation Now, and just adding those different tiers. And they're really focusing on cloud gaming for a lot of the games that they have, especially for the backwards compatibility. Specifically with the PlayStation 3, it's really the only way you're going to be able to experience the backwards compatibility for PS3 through their PlayStation Plus service and through the PS5. Now, I don't think it will be adopted nearly as well or as fast as Xbox Game Pass. I do think there will be a decent adoption rate for these new PlayStation Plus tiers, and that will overall increase the revenues within cloud gaming going forward. You can see all of the companies adapting, and Xbox was the first one in there, and they are doing it the best. They also have all the infrastructure with Azure. In fact, we even think about some of these partnerships that have been announced over the past few years. We have this one here between Sony and Microsoft themselves. They signed a memorandum of understanding, and it says here, under the memorandum of understanding signed by the parties, the two companies will explore joint development of future cloud solutions in Microsoft Azure to support their respective game and content streaming services. In addition, the two companies will explore the use of current Microsoft Azure data center-based solutions for Sony's game and content streaming services. So yes, they are competitors when it comes down to it in the video game industry, when it comes down to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S, but everyone knows that Microsoft have probably the best solutions here for cloud gaming with their infrastructure, and even Sony is willing to work with them in order to use that going forward. Will this be used for PlayStation Plus? I'm not sure about that, but they will probably tap into this partnership at some time in the future as they continue to develop their cloud solutions. And then we even have this, we've talked about over the last couple of days, the strategic alliance with Sega and Microsoft to make Super Game, which we now know is going to be multiple games, not just one game, and that they may actually be including NFTs. So this is another partnership that Microsoft and Xbox are going to be able to benefit off of because they have the Azure services. Now, in terms of how cloud gaming has just grown in 2021 compared to 2022, they say here that the overall revenues doubled. There was $671 million made in cloud revenue in 2020, and they predict that by 2024, the revenues and the growth will be hitting $6.3 billion. So it is just an absolute massive industry that's going to continue to grow. And video game companies, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo are going to try to continue to expand their entries into the cloud, with I think Microsoft having the leg up. One of the things I think they will be doing soon is just adding the smart TV app and the streaming stick, just to get more people into the ecosystem without having to have really any hardware like a console or a PC. So very cool stuff. I mean, I am not the biggest cloud gamer. I don't use it that often, but I do understand that this is going to kind of be the future going forward. One of the big things that they'll also have to think about is just the overall internet connections around the world and how can they make this more accessible to as many people as possible. All right, jumping over here to some hiring that is going on involving Xbox games, exclusive games that we will be getting sometime in the future. The first one we have here is Project Belfry. We heard about this way back in 2021 in October, that Stoic Studios, the people behind the banner Sega game, was going to be making a new side-scrolling RPG. Specifically, Project Belfry will sport similar painted art styles to those found in Banner Sega, which you can kind of see here. If you played Banner Sega, you'll know all about that. And it will sport side-scrolling brawling combat similar to the likes of the PlayStation exclusive Dragon's Crown, which has me excited because I actually really enjoyed Dragon's Crown. I actually also enjoyed Odin's Sphere. Both very cool art styles, side-scrolling action RPGs, really fast combat, and just a ton of great elements to those styles of games. And this is going to be a game along those lines. Has me pretty pumped up for it. But it looks like they are now continuing to hire more to get this game out. Specifically, they're looking for somebody to work under contract as a UI engineer, and they mention what they're going to be doing. And one of the things that they do say here is that they will be working on the profile and they will optimizing performance of UIs on devices, and they only say PC and Xbox. Now, I know from this, what we know about this game is that it hasn't officially been confirmed by Stoic. This is just something that's still in the rumors, and no one's come out and shown a trailer. No one's shown anything about the gameplay, talked about it. However, from what we are hearing about these rumors, something like this where they're pointing out specifically they want somebody to work on a game that will be utilizing PC and Xbox, you can pretty much bet that this game is going to be the exclusive for Xbox that the rumors have talked about. Now, we don't know when this is going to be coming out. It'd be cool if this was like a 2022 surprise release. They show it off at the event that Xbox is going to be having this summer, and then they say, hey, this is going to be available maybe in like October or something. I think that would be awesome and get people excited for it. And there's a lot of love for Stoic Studios and the Banner Sega series, so them just announcing a new game will have a lot of hype behind it. Now, that's not the only game that is hiring. This one's actually pretty exciting, mainly because, I mean, Gears of War is such a huge franchise, one of my favorite franchises of all time. We don't know when Gear 6 is coming out, but it looks like they may be beginning to hire for it, maybe in pre-production, maybe a further step, not sure. But there are 2 job listings up on the Microsoft's career web pages for story director and PvP and PvE design director for Gears of War at the Coalition, which you would assume this will probably be for the upcoming Gears 6. Now, Gears 6 will be, I believe, using Unreal Engine 5, so that's something that everyone has excitement about because they showed off just what they can do with Unreal 5 with the Matrix demo, as they were a major part of making that Matrix demo. And then they showed off this stuff here at the Epic event, the Unreal event, where they just went into further depth of the things that can be done with Unreal Engine 5. And they also even talked about the advantages of Unreal Engine 5 over Unreal Engine 4. And it just sounds and looks amazing. This part here, this video, the cinematic visual tech test, I think is one of the best things I've seen in terms of just how realistic everything looks and the smoke and the character. And it's just going to be amazing. Gear 6, I really can't wait for it. I can't wait to see what Coalition is going to be doing. I mean, we already know what they can do in terms of graphics with Gears 5. I still think Gears 5 today is one of the best looking games you can go out and play. If you haven't checked it out yet and you have an Xbox Series X, definitely load that game up and you'll be absolutely blown away of how amazing that game looks. I mean, Gears is going to be way 2024 and beyond. We take a look here at this graphic that Clobro had posted, just kind of trying to guess when all of these games are going to come out with best estimates. And you can see Gears here is 2024 and beyond. So we're getting a huge update for Halo, but not Halo Infinite. That's going to be coming in May. This update is going to be for Halo the Master Chief Collection, and it's actually pretty exciting. It's going to be approximately a 21.5 gigabyte update for Xbox consoles and approximately 26.5 for PC if you have the Xbox app, and then I guess only 11.2 gigabytes if you have Steam. So there's that difference if you're playing it off of the Xbox app or Steam. kind of interesting how that happens. But the update here has to do with Halo 3's ODST firefight improvements and flood fight. Now, overall, it's actually a relatively big update. You go down, there's stuff for Halo 4, there's just general improvement stuff for Halo 2, just a bunch of stuff. But the big thing that have people excited for this update is definitely what I just mentioned, the firefight improvements and flood fight, which means that various new settings are available when creating a firefight session. Added scenario settings include hazards and friendly boons, such as additional weapons being available on the map and allies delivered via insertion pod. The update will also bring at least New Mombasa for the first time and a new firefight game variant, flood fight. So that's like the big thing I think people are excited about, that you're going to be able to fight elites and flood enemies that will be able to be added to Halo 3's ODST firefight game mode. And I mean, that'll just make the whole thing even harder and more challenging depending on how you do it, depending on how you set it up. It says here, flood waves will be accompanied by a fog that changes the atmosphere of classic maps, and allies lost to the flood may return to attack players. That's very cool to see, that you're going to be able to actually come back in once you've died and try to take out players. Flood theme hazards are also available in the new scenario settings. These hazards include flood dispersal pods, flood stalkers, and flood controlled vehicles. So this is a very cool game mode, really a lot of fun. Adding the flood fight there just makes it even that much better. But what has me thinking after reading this is that, man, I hope Halo Infinite adds some sort of PvE experience, because they just need to do that. They need to add in a firefight mode into Halo Infinite. I think that will just add so much more content, and people will love to play that with the updated graphics, with the updated gameplay. And that's something that we haven't heard about yet. It's most likely not coming in Season 2, but hopefully they will look at this, see how many people are playing it within Halo Master Chief Collection, seeing the response to an update like this, how excited people are getting, and then hopefully they will add that at some point to Halo Infinite. So with all the stuff going on about Epic Games recently, a lot of it focused on with the Coalition, with the Matrix demo, with the demo they put out at that Unreal event. We got some interesting information about further investments into Epic Games from Sony and as well as Kirkby. So this is a $2 billion round of funding to advance the company's vision to build the metaverse and support its continued growth. And they say that this round of investments includes Sony Group Corporation, as well as Kirkby, the family-owned holding and investment company behind the Lego Group, and they both invested $1 billion each. Now, Sony talks about this. Kenichiro Yoshida says, as a creative entertainment company, we are thrilled to invest in Epic to deepen our relationship in the metaverse field, a space where creators and users share their time. We're also confident that Epic's expertise, including their powerful game engine, combined with Sony's technologies, will accelerate our various efforts, such as the development of new digital fan experiences in sports and our virtual production initiatives. And Tim Sweeney also comments saying, as we reimagine the future of entertainment and play, we need partners who share our vision. We have found this in our partnership with Sony and Kirkby. The investment will accelerate our work to build the metaverse and create spaces where players can have fun with friends, brands can build creative and immersive experiences, and creators can build a community and thrive. So just another round of investing Sony's giving to Epic Games to just, I guess, continue to use their products, continue to use all of their technology, probably get priority on certain things like this, which we saw back in 2020 when they first revealed Unreal Engine 5, and they say that the demo was running on a PlayStation 5, and people were getting into debates whether this was not going to be able to run on the Xbox Series X, which obviously is not the case. But you can see that those investments are just adding to this marketing style of thing where it gets people excited about these future products, at least first, before they continue to spread them out across the entire industry. But this is something I very much remember being blown away at how good this looked. But then I remember the following debates people were having as to whether this was only going to be a PlayStation 5 feature, because if you remember, this was a demo that was shown off before these consoles were released, and it was just kind of a marketing thing with putting it in the fact that it was running on the PlayStation 5. And we go over here to Benji Sales tweet saying Sony has invested another $1 billion into Epic Games. This follows Sony previously investing $250 million in July 2020, then another $200 million into Epic in April of 2021. Epic Games valuation right now is sitting at 31.5 billion. But what does this mean for Sony? And I mean, it's exactly what they say in that article, but he says here mostly means further strengthening of the relationship between Sony and Epic. Expect them to use Unreal Engine a lot, not necessarily just for games, but I mean, they're obviously going to be using it for games because we see the power of Unreal Engine, especially Unreal Engine 5. But there are definitely other areas within Sony that they're going to be able to use this investment for, use this partnership for: the metaverse, their movies, all that type of stuff. Wouldn't surprise me to see PlayStation Studio games launching day and date on the Epic Games Store eventually. I think that probably wouldn't be a great move because Steam is still the primary launcher, and I don't foresee Steam ever falling off as the main place to play your PC games. You know, Sony would be a very good time for a PlayStation PC showcase this month to outline your PC releases for the year, especially since Uncharted Legacy of Thieves still doesn't have a release date despite being on PS5 for 2.5 months. Hardly think PlayStation would make a showcase for PC games. That wouldn't go down well with the fans. They probably have a showcase in the summer like they usually do, where there will be new games revealed as well as a PC port or two. Now, honestly, this is kind of an interesting point that is being made here. Should Sony do a PC thing, just have like maybe a little mini PlayStation showcase, could be 20 minutes long or so, where they just focus more on PC? And I think that actually would be a somewhat decent idea. They kind of have to start expanding out and stop thinking about just their hardcore, just insane fans that are going to be pissed off about PlayStation putting their games on PC, because we know when they do that, and if they do that to more games in the future, they're going to be making more money. It is better for business. And I think going forward, they should be focusing more on putting PlayStation games on PC and highlighting that with their further showcases. That's it for me, guys. Let me know your thoughts on cloud gaming. Where do you see it going in the future? What do you think about PlayStation's investment into Epic Games? And are you excited for Stoic's upcoming potentially Xbox exclusive game, Project Belfry? If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you like what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.